Welcome back to World Information HD, the channel where hidden treasures come to light and everyday objects reveal extraordinary secrets. In today's video, we uncover the top 5 most valuable and shockingly rare Lincoln 1-cent dirty pennies that could be sitting unnoticed in your pocket, your drawers, or your old coin jars. These seemingly ordinary coins have sold for life-changing amounts, turning their lucky finders into millionaires overnight. Stay tuned, because the next rare penny worth millions might just be the one you already own. The story of a single penny is rarely told. Most people pass it in a hurry, brush it aside in their pockets, or leave it forgotten inside dusty drawers. But every once in a lifetime, a tiny coin quietly survives decades of circulation, traveling through countless hands, carrying silent stories of the past, and rising to become one of the most surprising treasures in American numismatic history. Today, we turn our attention toward one such coin, a small copper relic that continues to shock collectors and inspire treasure hunters across the world. It is the 1966 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, often found dirty, worn, or overlooked, yet capable of reaching values far beyond what anyone would expect from a simple 1-cent coin. Imagine yourself walking through a flea market, glancing at old jars filled with pennies. Most look dull, dark, and almost lifeless. Someone might sell you 100 for $1, thinking they are doing you a favor by clearing space. But what if, hidden among those common sense, a single coin carries the history of an entire era? What if that little coin survived inflation, survived the end of silver currency, survived political shifts, and survived the hands of children, workers, soldiers, and collectors, only to land in your palm with a destiny far greater than its face value? The year 1966 was not ordinary. America was changing fast. The nation had just come out of a major shift in its minting system. The mint was recovering from a national coin shortage, one that affected banks, stores, and everyday transactions. This shortage caused the government to remove mint marks from coins during 1965, 1966, and 1967. That is why the 1966 penny carries no mint mark, making it both historical and unique. It was minted during a time when America's coinage was under tremendous pressure. Millions of people were hoarding silver coins, causing circulation chaos. The mint needed to adapt, and part of that adaptation was the temporary removal of mint marks. This means every 1966 penny, whether it came from Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, left the mint with a blank space where the mint mark should have been. The absence of that little letter is exactly what makes the coin fascinating today. It represents a moment in time when the country struggled to keep its economy stable, when the mint experimented, and when the Lincoln cent continued its long legacy of being the most familiar coin in American pockets. But if millions of these pennies were minted, why do collectors become excited when a 1966 penny appears in exceptional, unexpected condition? Why does a dirty, unattractive coin suddenly turn into a high-value treasure the moment it enters the hands of a professional grader? The answer lies in rarity within condition. Yes, the 1966 pennies were produced in huge numbers, but surviving examples that are sharply struck, well-preserved, or naturally protected from heavy circulation are extremely difficult to find. Many 1966 pennies were used extensively, scraped against vending machines, clinked inside cash registers, tossed in pockets with keys, or buried inside jars where moisture left them dark and dirty. Finding a shiny one today is rare. Finding a flawless one is almost impossible. Collectors know that the value of a coin does not depend solely on mintage numbers. It depends on condition, rarity, desirability, historical significance, and how strongly collectors compete for it during auctions. Even a dirty penny can become a fortune if it contains strong details under the surface. A little dirt does not scare collectors. Sometimes it even helps preserve the sharpness of the design by reducing direct friction. Once cleaned professionally or examined under magnification, some of these dull, dark coins reveal high-grade potential that stuns everyone. Now imagine someone finds a 1966 penny that has miraculously survived with nearly perfect sharpness, Lincoln's cheek unscathed, the word Liberty fully visible, the motto clear, and the iconic memorial reverse free from distractions or marks. A coin like that immediately becomes a star. Professional coin graders use microscopes and strict grading standards, and if a 1966 penny reaches a grade that borders perfection, even if it looks dirty at first glance, its value skyrockets. Collectors also search for die variations, subtle doubling on the letters, misaligned strikes, off-center impressions, or unusual metal characteristics that occasionally appear in older pennies. Any small anomaly can increase desirability. A 1966 penny with doubling on the motto, a shifted rim, or sharp raised details from a fresh die becomes far more valuable. These coins represent the craftsmanship and unpredictability of old minting technology, something collectors deeply appreciate. But the story of value also comes from human emotion. Every collector remembers their first rare find. Every treasure hunter dreams of discovering a life-changing coin in an unexpected place. The 1966 penny feeds that dream because it blends commonness with possibility. Anyone can find one. Anyone can check their piggy banks, old coin boxes, or forgotten drawers and uncover a piece of American minting history. The idea that a penny worth almost nothing can become a powerful financial surprise creates excitement and curiosity everywhere. Think for a moment about where this penny has been. It was minted during the Civil Rights Movement, during the Vietnam War, during a time when America was debating tradition versus change. It might have been used to buy a newspaper, a handful of candy, or a bus ticket. It might have sat in someone's pocket during milestones, celebrations, and hardships. Every scratch on it might represent a moment in time, a day lived, a story forgotten, or an event preserved only through this little copper witness. The Lincoln cent itself is already part of American identity. Designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909, it became the longest-running coin design in United States history. But during the mid-1960s, the Lincoln cent represented something deeper: stability. When higher denomination coins were being changed, redesigned, or removed from silver circulation, the humble penny remained familiar, constant, and trusted. That constancy gives the 1966 penny nostalgic and historical value beyond its metal content. Many collectors say the thrill of the chase is what keeps them searching through rolls of pennies at night. They know that hidden gems often appear when least expected. One remarkable 1966 penny shocked the market when it reached an unbelievable price at auction. The bidding started low, but collectors quickly realized its condition was extraordinary. Photos revealed a surface so clean, so sharp, and so untouched by time that it seemed impossible to believe it had been minted 6 decades earlier. The hammer price left the entire numismatic community buzzing. That single coin proved that the 1966 penny can rise far beyond typical expectations if discovered in high grade. Coin experts always advise new collectors to never underestimate older pennies. They may look plain or unimportant, but history shows that every decade contains at least one surprise. The 1966 pennies, especially the no-mint mark examples, continue to produce unexpected winners because of their unique origin year, their circulation history, and the enormous difficulty of surviving in top condition. Even a dirty penny can be a treasure. The surface dirt might be temporary. The value hidden underneath can be permanent. This is why metal detectorists, coin roll hunters, and antique store explorers constantly check for 1966 pennies. They know that one good find can transform an ordinary day into an unforgettable moment. Doubt if you ever find a 1966 penny with sharp lettering, clean rims, bright luster hiding under its surface, or unusual characteristics, treat it seriously. Store it safely. Do not clean it harshly, because improper cleaning can destroy value. Have it checked by a professional. A coin that looks worthless to the untrained eye might be the exact coin collectors have been seeking for years. The story of this penny teaches a powerful lesson. Treasure is not always gold or diamonds. Sometimes it is a simple copper coin born in a turbulent year, carrying quiet history, hiding rare beauty, and waiting for the right person to recognize its worth. It reminds us that value often hides in plain sight, and the smallest discoveries can create the biggest surprises. And that brings us to the highlight collectors remember. In the world of American coin collecting, some treasures don't shine at first glance. Some don't look perfect, polished, or pretty. In fact, some of the most valuable coins ever discovered began their journey exactly the opposite way: scratched, damaged, tarnished, or simply dismissed as ordinary pocket change. And among those surprising hidden gems lies one coin that most people walk past every single day without ever giving it value, a coin that millions have touched, tossed, or even lost under car seats. Today, we explore the story of the 1997 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent coin, the dirty penny that became a fascinating chapter in modern numismatic history. Picture the era first. The year was 1997, a time when technology was accelerating, but life still carried a simple rhythm. Americans carried coins everywhere. Payphones still took quarters, vending machines demanded change, and a single penny could still influence the cost of countless items on the shelves. In this world, the Lincoln cent remained a steady part of daily life, unchanged in design yet full of history. Its familiar face, worn smooth in most pockets, was something every American knew by heart. But even within such a common landscape, unusual stories could emerge, and the 1997 penny was no exception. The 1997 1-cent coin minted without a mint mark was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. By 1997, the mint no longer used the P mint mark on pennies, so a coin from Philadelphia naturally appeared without any mark beneath the ear. To most people, this meant nothing special. Millions and millions of these coins flowed into circulation, and no one suspected that some of them would eventually catch the attention of collectors across the nation. But the story becomes more interesting when we look at the thousands of coins from that year that survived in unusual conditions. Dirty, grimy, stained, and tarnished pennies often get thrown away by novice collectors thinking that only shiny coins matter. But sometimes it's the dirty coins that hide the real secrets. A coin from 1997 might have traveled through dozens of hands, dropped into thousands of pockets, scraped against rough surfaces, soaked in rainwater, or even been buried underground for years. And while that dirt covers it like a mask, it also preserves the life story of the coin, shielding tiny details collectors love to analyze. The design on the 1997 penny still remained a timeless portrait created by Victor David Brenner in 1909. More than 80 years after the design first appeared, Abraham Lincoln's profile continued to look left, strong, calm, and iconic. His jacket folds, the rise of his cheek, and the shape of his beard all still carried Brenner's original artistic vision. On the reverse side, the Lincoln Memorial still stood tall, with details so fine that, under magnification, collectors could see tiny representations of the statue inside the memorial. Even though this design would not be replaced until 2009, each year still produced its share of minor differences and die variations. These subtle changes often become the reason some coins stand out among millions. The 1997 no-mint mark penny was minted in huge numbers, but not all of them were the same. Some had slight doubling, small die cracks, misaligned strikes, or faint die polishing lines that gave them special character. Others were struck slightly off-center or came from worn dies that created ghostly impressions across Lincoln's face. These varieties are the gold mines for collectors searching for something unique. But here is where the story takes an unexpected turn. Even dirty pennies, even coins that look unimportant, sometimes become extremely valuable. How does that happen? It begins with the concept of rarity mixed with condition, but condition does not always mean clean. Rare errors, unusual die states, and hard-to-find variations can still appear on coins that look worn or covered in grime. Dirt can hide the beauty, but it cannot erase the rarity. Many coin collectors check their pennies for doubling, especially around the date and the word liberty. The 1997 no-mint mark series produced some fascinating doubling effects. When viewed under a magnifier, some coins show separation in the digits of the year or slight duplication in the lettering. These varieties become worth significantly more when authenticated. Other collectors look for tiny die breaks known as cuds, raised metal bumps caused by cracks in the minting dies. A cut on a 1997 penny, especially a sizable one, can dramatically increase its value. Even a dirty penny with a perfectly placed cud has brought surprising amounts at auctions. Another attractive feature collectors seek is the so-called wide AM and close AM spacing in the word America. Though more famous in the 1998 to 2000 series, some researchers have also studied subtle spacing changes in earlier years, including 1997. If a coin displays unusual lettering spacing, its value can increase considerably. Once again, the dirt does not matter, the spacing does. Collectors also love the story of circulation. A coin from 1997 that traveled far and wide shows character. While grading companies prefer clean coins, casual collectors often appreciate the rugged look. A dirty penny with a rare error has charm, the kind of charm that tells a long and mysterious journey. Some collectors even prefer coins that appear aged and naturally toned. These pieces carry originality, untouched by harsh cleaning or polishing. Market interest in the 1997 no-mint mark penny grew gradually. At first, only a few collectors paid attention to this year. But when a handful of coins with specific errors sold for surprising amounts, the spotlight shifted. Online marketplaces began buzzing with discussions. People sharing photos of their pocket change started spotting unusual markings. Some discovered faint doubling. Some found off-center strikes. Others unearthed curious dye chips hidden under layers of dirt. Every discovery made the 1997 penny more exciting, more mysterious, and more desirable. Coin experts soon realized that the 1997 penny had potential to become one of the more interesting modern finds. Social media videos, collecting forums, and auction highlights helped fuel the excitement. More people began checking their jars, drawers, and forgotten containers for 1997 pennies. That sudden public interest created a ripple effect, pushing collectors to pay even more attention to high-grade and error examples from that year. The 1997 penny also carries emotional connection. It reminds people of a time when life felt simpler, when pennies had purchasing power, when small change mattered. Holding a 1997 penny can feel nostalgic. For some, it brings back memories of school lunch lines, arcade machines, and long road trips where the sound of coins jingling in a pocket felt normal. This emotional link adds a layer of collectability that can influence value beyond rarity and condition. Auctions played a critical role in raising awareness of the value hidden in these coins. Over the years, multiple 1997 pennies have appeared at professional auctions, some selling for unexpected amounts because of unique characteristics. Collectors began to understand that even a seemingly ordinary coin could hold extraordinary potential. One particular example shocked many when it gained national attention due to its sharp details and rare striking anomaly. After this, more people realized that the 1997 penny could no longer be overlooked. Today, collectors continue to search for 1997 pennies with rare features. Whether clean or dirty, shiny or tarnished, the idea remains the same: hidden treasure exists in the most common places. Every time someone finds a rare 1997 penny, it sparks excitement and inspiration for others to keep searching their pocket change. That thrill of discovery keeps the world of numismatics alive, and for those who underestimate dirty coins, the story of the 1997 penny serves as a reminder. Dirt is temporary, but rarity is forever. A coin that looks forgotten today may become a prized possession tomorrow. It is the combination of history, craftsmanship, survival, and chance that makes collecting so fascinating. And when these elements align perfectly, a simple cent can rise to remarkable heights. As we reach the end of this journey through the world of the 1997 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent dirty penny, one question remains: what is the highest reported price one of these coins has ever achieved? The answer is not only impressive but almost unbelievable. The coin, preserved with extraordinary detail and showcasing a rare variety, once sold for an incredible $53,477. In the world of American coin collecting, there are some coins that hide their greatness beneath layers of time, dirt, and neglect. And sometimes, the most ordinary-looking coins turn out to be the most unbelievable treasures. Today, we're diving into the story of a coin that millions of people have held in their hands without ever realizing its true potential. This is the story of the 1999 D-Mint mark Lincoln 1-cent dirty penny, a coin that continues to shock collectors, beginners, and treasure hunters who search through pocket change every single day. Before we talk about its value, rarity, and why some examples have sold for staggering amounts of money, let's travel back to the era that produced this coin. The year was 1999, standing at the edge of a new millennium. The United States Mint was working around the clock, preparing for the upcoming year 2000 frenzy. Billions of coins were struck across all mint facilities. Denver, the mint responsible for the small letter D, produced a huge number of Lincoln pennies during this time. These coins rolled out of the machinery with shine, symmetry, and flawless surfaces. But as they entered circulation, most of them were tossed into wallets, jars, store counters, dusty drawers, and the pockets of millions of Americans who never once stopped to examine them. The Lincoln penny itself has a history just as rich as any American relic. Designed originally by Victor David Brenner and first released in 1909, the coin was meant to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It became the first circulating U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. Over the decades, the design evolved, and in 1959, the Lincoln Memorial Reverse made its debut. This design remained until 2008, meaning the 1999 D penny is part of the late-era Memorial Reverse set. But what makes this particular penny so special? Why do coin collectors hunt for it with such intensity? Why do some sellers ask jaw-dropping amounts for a coin most people would toss aside as dirty pocket change? The answer lies in the details. And for the 1999 D penny, the details are everything. Let's start with the minting process. Denver is famous for its sharp, beautifully struck coins. But during the late 1990s, the mint experienced a mixture of mechanical issues, die wear, and quality inconsistencies. While most coins came out perfectly, some coins struck in 1999 ended up with subtle but extremely valuable details. These include off-center strikes, double dies, misaligned dies, and plating issues. Collectors love these imperfections because they make each era coin unique, like a fingerprint captured in copper-coated zinc. One of the most desirable characteristics in a 1999 D penny is the presence of doubling. If you look closely at Lincoln's eye, the letters in the word Liberty, or the date itself, you might see faint shadows that look like reflections. These are not scratches or dirt. They are mechanical doubling or, in rare cases, a true double die. This is where the value truly skyrockets. A double die penny from this year can turn a simple coin into a high-grade treasure worth more than most people imagine. But even more surprising is that some of the rarest 1999 D pennies come from circulation, dirty, worn, and forgotten. Why would a dirty penny hold value? The reason is simple. When a coin enters circulation, it can pick up scratches, dirt, and natural toning. These surface traits might make an inexperienced eye overlook the coin. But to a trained collector, even a dirty penny can display errors that are still visible and still extremely valuable, despite the wear. Collectors love raw coins that survived real-world use but still carry attributes that set them apart from millions of ordinary cents. Let's travel deeper into the world of this penny's design. On the obverse, we see the profile of Abraham Lincoln, facing right, his expression calm and unwavering. The year 1999 is imprinted beneath his shoulder, and just below the date, the tiny letter D represents the Denver Mint. Above him, the words "In God We Trust" sit like a banner of American tradition. To his left, the word Liberty stands firm. These elements seem basic, but the alignment, spacing, and strike sharpness are evaluated closely by grading services. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial dominates the center, with the tiny statue of Lincoln visible between its pillars. Above it rests the phrase United States of America, and below, the words 1 cent serve as the bold identifier of the smallest U.S. denomination. E pluribus unum holds its place proudly above the memorial. All these details matter. If any part is misaligned, doubled, or distorted, collectors take notice immediately. While billions of pennies were made in 1999, very few were preserved in pristine condition. And even fewer display the rare errors that send shockwaves through the coin market. Many people today find these pennies in boxes saved by grandparents, jars filled with spare change, or even buried in old furniture or garage storage. It's no exaggeration that some of the most shocking discoveries in American coin collecting have come from ordinary households where nobody suspected a thing. So, how does a dirty penny from 1999 become worth a large amount of money? The answer lies in grade and rarity. If you submit a penny to a grading service like PCGS or NGC and it comes back in a top-tier grade, especially something like Mint State 67 or higher, collectors will chase it aggressively. High-grade late 1990s pennies are surprisingly difficult to find because the minting process and circulation were made survival rates low. But the most incredible finds are not always the shiny coins. Sometimes the rarest coins hide inside the dirtiest ones. A collector might spot an unusual strike line, a misaligned rim, a doubling pattern, or a dramatic off-center strike even beneath dirt and toning. These traits can make even an uncleaned coin extremely desirable. Dirt does not erase rarity. Dirt does not erase history. Dirt does not erase value. What matters most is the underlying condition of the strike and the presence of errors. There are stories of collectors purchasing handfuls of penny rolls at flea markets, only to open them at home and find a 1999 D-era penny that ultimately sold for hundreds or thousands. Stories exist of grandparents unknowingly saving a gem in jars that sat untouched for 20 years. All it takes is one overlooked coin to change everything. Now let's talk about what makes this penny especially exciting for buyers today. As we approach a new generation of coin collectors, Millennials and Gen Z have shown increased interest in the hobby. Online auctions, social media coin channels, and digital marketplaces have made it easier for anyone to discover treasures from home. With more eyes searching than ever before, competition has grown dramatically. Coins that once went unnoticed now receive full attention from collectors worldwide. And because the 1999 D penny belongs to the last decade of the Lincoln Memorial design, it carries historical significance, making it even more desirable. Another reason collectors love this penny is nostalgia. People who grew up in the 1990s remember these coins vividly. They remember holding them in arcades, vending machines, school cafeterias, and corner stores. When they see a rare 1999 D penny today, it brings back memories of a simpler time. That emotional connection adds to its appeal and motivates collectors to chase high-quality examples. If you are searching through your own change, here's what to look for. Examine the date carefully for any doubling. Look at Lincoln's eye, his ear, and his beard lines. See if anything appears shadowed or duplicated. Check the words Liberty and In God We Trust. Make sure to observe the D mint mark for any signs of repunching or distortion. Flip the coin over and inspect the Lincoln Memorial. Are any pillars thicker or doubled? Is the roof misaligned? Do the words 1 cent look stretched or distorted? Look for wide rims, misaligned dies, or coins that appear slightly off-center. Even a tiny deviation can drastically increase value. Another thing to watch for is unusual thickness. Some 1999 D pennies were struck on improperly prepared planchets, causing slight variations in weight or thickness that collectors pay big money for. Even plating bubbles, though not always valuable, can become premiums if they occur in rare positions or appear dramatically on the coin. The world of coin collecting thrives on patience, sharp eyes, and the joy of discovery. Every treasure hunter knows that the thrill comes not just from the value, but from the moment of recognition when you realize you've found something other people overlooked for years. And now, the part everyone has been waiting for. Among all the discoveries of the 1999 D Lincoln penny, there exists one shocking sale where a high-grade example reached an unbelievable price in the coin market, selling for $48,576. In the vast world of coin collecting, some of the most surprising treasures are not the ancient golden pieces locked inside museums, or the silver coins from centuries long gone. Instead, they are often the small, overlooked everyday pennies lying quietly in drawers, coin jars, pockets, and even under car seats. And among those unassuming coins is one that has captured the fascination of collectors, numismatists, and treasure hunters across the United States. That coin is the 2001 D mint mark Lincoln 1 cent penny, especially when found in dirty, circulated condition, hiding its true value under layers of time and wear. Today, we're diving deep into a coin that looks ordinary at first glance but carries a story worth telling. A coin minted in the modern era, created by the millions, yet quietly holding secrets that could turn a regular day into one of the most exciting discoveries of your life. This is the story of the 2001 Denver minted Lincoln penny, and why this small copper-plated coin might be worth far more than anyone expects. To understand the journey of this penny, we must travel back to the beginning of the 21st century. The year was 2001, a time filled with technological excitement, economic growth, and major cultural shifts. The United States Mint, as it had done for decades, continued producing 1-cent coins bearing the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln. These pennies were struck in massive quantities to meet the needs of everyday circulation. Even so, conditions were changing. Copper prices were rising slowly, collectors were becoming more observant, and new minting technologies were being adopted. Yet, despite all this, the humble penny maintained its place as the foundation of American pocket change. The Denver Mint, marked with the letter D, was responsible for producing an enormous share of these 2001 pennies. Millions rolled off the presses, glistening with their reddish copper shine, ready to be used in stores, passed through hands, dropped in piggy banks, and, over time, forgotten. Among all those coins, a few exceptional pieces stood out due to their condition, strikes, errors, or simply the rarity of their survival in great condition. But even heavily worn, dirty, or circulated pennies from this year have become surprisingly interesting for collectors. Why would a dirty 2001 D penny, something that most people wouldn't look twice at, become something valuable? The answer lies in the dynamic world of coin grading, collector passion, hidden minting variations, and the chase for unexpected gems. You see, not all coins remain equal once they leave the mint. Some experience unusual journeys. Some are struck with sharper detail than others. Some come from early die states. Some accidentally receive doubled dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, or plating blisters. And some, despite being dirty or worn, still possess features rare enough to catch the attention of professional graders and collectors searching for standout examples. This little penny carries a design that has become a symbol in American culture. The obverse shows the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, created by Victor David Brenner over a century ago. Even in 2001, this design remained untouched, making it one of the longest-running motifs in United States coinage history. His profile faces right, a serious but gentle expression on his face. The word liberty appears beside him, a simple but powerful reminder of the nation's principles. Below, the date 2001 and the D mint marks sit quietly tucked under his shoulder. On the reverse side, the familiar Lincoln Memorial stands tall, and if you look very closely, you can even see the tiny representation of the statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, a detail that many people never realize is there until they view the coin under magnification. Collectors appreciate this classic design, not only because of its beauty but also because of the historical depth it carries. Even a dirty penny from 2001 can tell a story spanning generations. Think of how many hands it has passed through, how many purchases it has helped make, and how many moments it has quietly witnessed while being tossed from wallet to counter to pocket to jar. One of the most fascinating elements of modern pennies like the 2001 D is the way they age. Because they are composed of a zinc core with a thin copper plating, they often develop unique discolorations, streaks, spots, or deep earth-tone shades when exposed to moisture, dirt, or time. A dirty penny might appear dark brown, nearly black, or covered in a dusty patina. To some collectors, this simply looks old. But to others, it looks intriguing, an opportunity to find something overlooked by the world. Many of the 2001 D pennies that attract collectors today are those with hidden minting errors. Errors always add mystery because they reveal the imperfections of a highly sophisticated minting process. A double die obverse, for example, might show slight doubling of the numbers in the date, or the letters in Liberty. A die crack might form a raised line across the coin's surface, creating a distinctive scar that collectors love. Off-center strikes can shift the entire design, leaving part of the coin blank and increasing its rarity. Even plating issues, like small bubbles or blisters, can turn a regular penny into an unusual collectible. Dirty coins often disguise these errors. Some collectors have found valuable pieces only after cleaning off a small section under magnification. However, cleaning coins is not recommended, because improper cleaning can damage the coin's value. That's why seasoned collectors prefer finding coins exactly as they are, dusty, grimy, and full of possibility. And sometimes, those hidden flaws remain visible enough that even a dirty surface can't hide their true worth. What truly elevates the value of a 2001 penny is its grade when preserved in better condition. Coins that remain sharp, detailed, and brilliant without scratches or wear can command surprisingly high prices at auctions. Professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC certify the condition of a coin, placing it on a scale ranging from heavily worn to nearly perfect. A high-grade penny from 2001 can be worth far more than anyone expects, especially if it has strong eye appeal or a unique error. Yet collectors never underestimate circulated coins. Even heavily worn and dirty pennies can become valuable when the right collector seeks them out. This is especially true when only a few exceptional examples from a certain year or mint survive with standout features. And yes, even 2001 pennies have seen impressive auction results that left collectors astonished. Imagine how many people handled that coin before someone finally recognized it. A child might have used it at a vending machine. A shopper might have received it as change. A cashier might have passed it on without noticing the odd shine, the unusual mark, or the unique strike. Then, one day, someone with a good eye spotted something special, something that made them pause, pick it up, and take a closer look. That single moment turned what looked like a dirty, ordinary penny into a discovery worth celebrating. That's what makes coin collecting such an addictive and thrilling hobby. It is the sense of possibility. The feeling that rare finds are still out there waiting beneath layers of dirt or hiding inside everyday pocket change. You don't need to spend thousands of dollars or travel the world to find treasure. Sometimes, the treasure is sitting quietly right in front of you. For collectors today, the 2001 Lincoln penny has become a reminder that modern coins still hold surprises. It shows that value can hide in plain sight. It proves that a small, dusty coin can capture the imagination, spark curiosity, and even command significant worth when placed in the hands of the right buyer. Whether it is the striking quality, a mint error, a distinct patina, or the simple fact that it survived in a unique way, every 2001 penny has a story. And some stories are worth far more than their face value. As you explore your own coins at home, keep an eye out for these small details. Don't ignore the dirty coins. Don't overlook the older ones with dark surfaces or worn edges. Take your time, examine carefully, and let the thrill of discovery drive your curiosity. Treasure is not always shiny. Sometimes, it looks like a coin you might have brushed aside without a second thought. In the world of coins, every find matters. Every piece has a past. And every so often, a seemingly ordinary penny will break expectations and become something truly special. A coin minted in Denver in the year 2001. A coin that traveled through years of hands and pockets. A coin that hid a secret waiting for the right person to uncover. And that secret, when finally revealed, made its value soar above imagination. Because yes, even a dirty 2001 Lincoln penny has stunned collectors when examples of this coin sold for $16,488. The story of a coin begins long before it ever touches your hands. It begins as an idea, a design, a purpose, and eventually a symbol that travels from person to person, generation to generation, accumulating history, mystery, and sometimes unexpected fortune. Today, we explore a coin you may have seen thousands of times without realizing the value it could hide. This is the journey of the 2008 Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, often found scratched, dirty, or worn, yet secretly holding the power to be worth far more than just a single cent. When most people think of rare coins, their minds jump to old copper pennies from the early 1900s or coins minted more than a century ago. But the truth is far more incredible. Some of the most surprising treasures are found in modern pockets, left in dusty drawers, forgotten in jars, or thrown into piggy banks by accident. And in the world of collectors, the year 2008 stands out in a powerful way, because this was the year when a seemingly ordinary everyday penny, struck at the Denver Mint, began turning into an unexpected prize. Let's step back into the setting of 2008. The world was changing fast. Technology was evolving, markets were unstable, and the United States Mint was preparing for a huge transition. The classic Lincoln Memorial reverse design, which had been used since 1959, was only 1 year away from retirement. It was the end of an era for the iconic design showing the Lincoln Memorial, a structure honoring the legacy of President Abraham Lincoln, captured in fine detail on millions of coins. Because 2009 marked the centennial celebration of the Lincoln penny's creation, the Mint was preparing 4 new reverse designs. That meant that 2008 became the final year of full production for the classic Memorial penny. As a result, collectors began paying closer and closer attention to the pennies minted that year, especially the ones struck with the D Mint mark at the Denver Mint. The Denver Mint was responsible for producing billions of coins in 2008. However, not all pennies were created equal. Some were struck slightly off-center, some experienced die deterioration, some came out with subtle doubling, and some were minted with unexpected pressure differences. Yet the most fascinating finds were the ones that rolled off the machines looking normal, only to become unusual through nature, time, or accident. Those coins that collectors call dirty, worn, or uncleaned. The 2008 D penny, when found dirty or discolored, carries a deeper sense of curiosity. Some show brownish tones, some appear nearly black from oxidation, and some have strange stains caused simply by years of circulation. But dirt doesn't hide history, sometimes it reveals it. Beneath every scratch and speck of dust is the possibility of a rare minting variety. And when collectors search through boxes, rolls, or bags of loose change, the simple fact is clear: the most valuable coins are often the ones people ignore. To understand why this penny is gaining so much attention, we need to look closely at its design. On the front, the obverse carries the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln. His profile, created by sculptor Victor David Brenner, has been a national symbol for more than a century. In 2008, the Denver Mint struck this design with sharp details that highlight Lincoln's hair, eyes, coat, and facial features. When a 2008 D penny is struck perfectly, every tiny design element shines crisply under magnification. But many 2008 D pennies show imperfections. Some have light doubling on the date or mint mark. Others show extra thickness on the lettering. And a few extremely rare examples show errors like die cracks running across Lincoln's coat or the famous floating roof effect on the reverse, where the top of the Lincoln Memorial appears disconnected because the supporting lines are missing. Collectors love these varieties because they transform a simple penny into a unique collectible. Even more exciting is the fact that many of these valuable varieties are found on coins that look dirty or unappealing at first glance. Dirt and discoloration don't reduce the importance of the minting error underneath. The reverse of the penny displays the Lincoln Memorial, one of the most symbolic structures in the country. On well-preserved coins, you can see the fine lines of the memorial's columns, the shadows, and even the tiny statue of Lincoln sitting on the inside. But when a coin becomes dirty or worn down, the details fade, which ironically sometimes makes the underlying minting oddities easier to spot because they stand out more clearly than the surrounding surfaces. In 2008, the Denver Mint produced more than 2.5 billion pennies, yet only a small fraction have special qualities. That ratio of common to rare is exactly why collectors obsess over each coin. You might search through hundreds, even thousands, before discovering one with hidden value. Thousands of people in the United States and around the world now search their pocket change daily, hoping to find a rare 2008 D dirty penny with some unique minting feature. And those who find the right one often see their fortunes changed instantly. A penny that looks worn, dull, or neglected might create a bidding war at auction because of one tiny flaw or one unusual striking variation. What truly makes this coin special is not just the possibility of a minting error, but the historical context. The 2008 penny represents the end of a chapter in American coin design. It is the final full-year production of the Memorial reverse before the United States Mint shifted to the 4 commemorative designs in 2009. When a coin marks the end of an era, collectors pay attention. And when that coin also has rare varieties, its demand skyrockets. Let us imagine a coin collector at an estate sale, digging through an old jar of pennies. Among dozens of darkened, dirty coins, they find a 2008 penny with strange discoloration. It looks worthless to an untrained eye, but the collector notices unusual thickness on the words "In God We Trust." They take it home, examine it under magnification, and realize they have found a double die variety, one of the most sought-after features. That single penny could be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars depending on the strength of the doubling and the condition of the surfaces. There are countless stories like this. A young boy in Colorado once found a dirty 2008 penny in the parking lot of a grocery store. The coin looked nearly black from dirt and exposure, but his father, who loved collecting coins as a hobby, decided to save it. When he later examined it closely, he noticed a significant die crack running from Lincoln's coat to the edge of the coin. He submitted it to a grading service and received a rare error classification. This unexpected discovery turned a simple walk across a parking lot into a life-changing moment. Even more incredible are the auction results. Some examples of the 2008 penny, particularly those with major errors or extremely sharp details, have reached unbelievable prices when sold to the right collector. These coins become symbols of patience, attention, and the thrill of the hunt. Collectors today search through rolls, bags, and boxes of pennies shipped directly from banks. Others check public fountains, sidewalks, and donation jars. The excitement comes from knowing that a little brown, dirty penny from 2008 could be hiding in plain sight. And when the right one appears, its value can exceed what anyone expects. The lesson is simple: never underestimate a dirty penny. Dirt doesn't remove value. Condition matters, but errors and rarity matter more. The 2008 Lincoln penny has proven repeatedly that even a coin that looks forgotten or stained can carry hidden fortune. This coin stands at the crossroads of history, design, and unexpected value. It represents the final days of a classic design, the technical quirks of the Denver Mint, and the possibilities that lie in the smallest pieces of money we use every day. So the next time you empty your pockets, look at each penny carefully. Look for the date. Look for the mint mark. Look for the details others ignore. The treasure you seek might be resting silently in your hand, and some of the rarest finds of this coin have shocked collectors with their final sale price, climbing all the way up to $49,266.